And the winner is Arctic Monkey!
That subscriber content, eh? That subscriber content, it just won't go away.
It might hibernate from time to time and sink back into the swamp. I think the cyclical nature of the universe in which it exists demands it adheres to some of its rules.
But it's always waiting there, just around the corner, ready to make its way into your ears and smash through the gated payment system, sounding better than ever.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Benefits such as getting ad-free episodes a week early with pre- and post-show chat relating to the monkeys, last Shadow Puppets episodes, bonus podcasts, watch-alongs, plus helping us improve our sound with better equipment and services.
Yeah, this podcast seems like it's fading away sometimes, but with subscribers, it will never die. Thank you very much for listening. We do truly appreciate it. Don't take that the wrong way.
Yeah, we'll invoice you for the subscription if we need to.
We're Arctic Monkeys. This is Don't Believe the Hype.
That rock and roll, eh? Ladies! That sound means it's the end of the round. Time for the bonus question. Cheers, dude. That man just yawned. We're gonna call it
Don't Believe the Hype.
Hello and welcome to another thrilling instalment of Don't Believe the Hype, the podcast that's aggravating ice cream men up and down the nation with a veritable 99 of Arctic Monkeys chat, topped with a tangent flake and drizzled with the sauce of self-deprecating whimsy. Much like the band, we've not forgotten our roots. Joining me, I'm Nick. The next time that he caught his own reflection, he was on his way to meet me through a computer screen for a couple of hours of top Arctic Monkeys insight. It's Dan. Hello, Dan.
Hello. Oh, bloody hell.
Mate,
Was that?
I sat back like proud of my work then, and then just accidentally hit the button for the information action ratio. Not yet.
Everyone thought I'd broken into song as my introduction then. I'm good. You just you just slammed down a new feature in the pre-show chat. Well, we did our usual lists and we did our top 10 New York artists and their songs for this list for this week, and then next week we're going to do a class divide, aren't we? Working class versus upper class and the bands and the artists. But you just threw a cryptic clue at me that you're going to reveal in the post-show chat. So I'm slightly distracted by trying to figure that out at the minute. But I'm going to put that aside because it's a big night, isn't it? It's a big one. This is, in my opinion, but not the opinion of others, as we'll find out perhaps, one of the all-time great Arctic Monkey songs.
It is indeed. It absolutely is. Yeah. Weirdly though, it's probably not in my top 3 on this album, but at the same time, it'd probably make it into a top 10 of all time. It's a weird one. But
I don't know.
It's a classic, a live staple.
I'm trying to come into it with like, I don't know what the order is going to be yet, and see whether my mind changes like it has on the other albums. Even with the next album, which has my favorite song on it, so I'm going to see if something usurps it, but I doubt it. But this one as it stands would make my top 3. I mean, as it stands, of the 2 we've done, it's number 1. But of 2, but yeah, but no, it's. I mean, last week's lyrical discussion was very interesting, wasn't it? But this is I'd say this is less cryptic, but the beginning of the Alex that we know and love to this day, I would say.
But at the same
this,
time,
so even more than last week.
I also think it harks back a bit to
the
first album
in subject matter, yeah, definitely.
But very much showing his let's face it, it's Mardy Bum with bollocks. That's
yeah.
And some of my favorite turns of phrase that he's ever used.
Turn as a phrase is what we say on this show. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I do apologise.
Especially since on the Christmas episode, Justin complimented me on inventing that, so now it's stayed.
Yeah.
Forever. Since I'm that needy. Yeah. But no, it's a great tune. But I think let's not beat around the bush. We've got a lot to talk about. Got a lot of information to get through on this song, and got a lot of information on our new segment around the gear tonight. It was fucking insane how much I
Would
could
you go
find
as
out.
far as to say we've got much to discuss over a bucket of balls?
I would say that, but not
Great
yet.
if I had that ready, then, wouldn't it? But I didn't.
Uh,
Just say it instead.
No, but that should be our jingle for the John Kennedy bit, shouldn't it?
See, we had this conversation and decided.
Yeah,
it
and I've
should
just
be-
remembered.
Right.
Yeah, I just remembered
So
for
it
next
is, and
week.
so it will be from next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if you find it, if you get the clip for me before this episode goes out, it might be in it for this episode. If you can send it to me for the edit.
I will get it to you within 10 minutes of the episode going out. Done.
So there you go.
finishing
So
it,
so it will be in this episode then. Yeah, you see that we're creating problems and we're solving problems live in your ears.
On the fly.
Yep.
The fly.
What a fly in
Right,
your
let's
ears,
have
though,
a
would you?
listen to-
Yeah, let's have a listen. I'm gonna go down that
I mean,
rabbit
there's
hole.
There's worse things to have in your ears, really, isn't there? Yeah, we'll leave that. Flying lightning, here it goes. Take it away, boys.
The next time that I caught my own reflection, it was on its way to meet you, thinking of excuses to postpone. You never looked like yourself from the side, but your profile could not hide the fact you knew I was approaching your throne. With folded arms, you occupied the bench like toothache, stood and puffed your chest out like you'd never lost a war. I know I tried so not to suffer the indignity of reaction. There was no cracks to grasp or gaps to claw. And your pastimes consisted of the strange, the twisted and deranged. And I ate a little game you had called crying lightning. And how you like to aggravate the achy man on rainy afternoons. Uninvited. But that offer's impossible as everyone assumes you are crying lightning. Your pastime consisted of the strange, the twisted and deranged. I ate that little game you had called crying lightning. Crying lightning. Crying lightning. Crying lightning. Your pastimes consisted of the strange, the twisted and deranged. I ate a little game you had called crying.
Blinding.
Yeah, great. I mean, it just shows why it's still in the set. It's such a cracking, even better live, like so much better. Like, especially Alex's little wig out with the sort of solo as well as it goes into the stop, the
And
military
one of
beat.
those Sort of had a new life breathed into it on the last two tours, I think, as well. They've changed it up a bit. Big fan.
I mean, it's one of the songs that barely ever leaves the set, if at all. But we'll get to that in the live stats, I suppose. But it has become just on the same part of dance floor and Teddy Picker. It's just become a sort of
Picker,
staple of
505,
that Brian Storm,
yeah.
505. It's in that family, isn't it? And it's the only one in Humbug. Oh, Pretty Visitors as well. Has also seemed to test the test of times. But I suppose they're the two most accessible
Yes.
of the songs on the album, perhaps, for people. Not in my opinion, but the people. But yeah, those people. But yeah, should we run some information on the song then?
Let's
Ooh,
do
what
it.
a song.
Information action ratio. Ain't that the place to go?
Crying Lightning is 3 minutes and 44 seconds long, and it has just 188.9 million. What are you talking about? That's shitloads. That is shitloads. 188.9 million streams on Spotify, which is just over double the amount of the third single, last week's track, My Propeller, which confirms our theory that perhaps the third single is never as big, but also that My Propeller was a bit of a flat single release on it. It was a bit of a, DOA of a single release.
That's what you do stuff for charity.
Well, you say that, but hold your tongue. It is 107 beats per minute and is in the key of E minor. So another minor to add to the list. Will next week's be an E minor? Not the best segment I've ever come up with on the fly, is it? That will next week's song be a minor or not? You can't.
Stop holding my tongue now. It really hurts.
No. You've committed to it now, and I'm not there yet. The song has been played live a whopping 622 times by the band. 622. That is very much at the top of the list, nearly with dance floor and things. Firstly, on January 13th, 2009, at Wellington Town Hall, Wellington, which is the first time we've seen a first-time play of a new song in New Zealand. And the most time I've ever said the words new and first in one sentence, I think, in 10 seconds. And lastly, of course, on October 19th, 2023 at the 3 Arena, Dublin. One of our listeners and subscribers got in touch with us about that gig, and he said it was bloody fantastic. You going Ford or Homie this week, Nick, for this one? Ford or Homie? Homie or Ford? Ford or Homie? Homophobe.
Well, I'll stop.
Which I'm sure neither of them are homophobes. Although if I had to guess one of them, you know which one I'd guess.
I mean, James Ford's worked with Kylie Minogue, so it's not him. Because
Josh Homie's worked with Elton, so maybe neither. The king of the gays.
Good point. Yeah.
Is that offensive? It's not, is it? No, he is. Good. I love him.
I'm going for Josh for this one.
It was Josh.
I'm just calling him Josh because I'm refusing to commit to Homie or Hom. I can't think of how to commit either way. Because I know that's it. I'm in for the series then. If I commit,
I like Homie, and it's like I said last week. At some point, I can get to say a homage about something. That I'm going to eventually that'll fit at some point. Yeah, something to look forward to.
It won't be as good now you've already said it, though, will it?
Well, I said it last week. I'm going to keep saying it every week until I find something to fit. And if I don't, I can say, well, I said it a lot though, didn't I?
Luckily, people won't tire of that at all.
The song is the first single from the album. It was first played on Zane Lowe's show on BBC Radio 1 on the 6th of July 2009 and was then made available on iTunes to download the same day. Physical copies of the single were made available on 17th of August, 1 week before the release of the album. You going to hold your tongue again? The vinyl was made available in Oxfam shops and sold with a download code for fans to get a free MP3 version of the song. So there you go. This one for charity too, and it's successful. Alex Turner told Zane Lowe this was deemed the best signifier of the record. It was a favourite during recording. When Lowe commented that he thought this track works well as an unconventional pop song, Turner agreed, saying it's quite strange as far as a pop song goes, the arrangement. Oxfam all the way with this album. It seems. We'll see if Cornerstone got the same treatment.
Is all the money? Any of the money going to kids over here, or is it all going to foreign kiddies?
It's shame they put any decent money into the fucking videos for this album.
Hey, you leave Cornerstone alone.
That one gets a pass, but we'll talk about this one later. John Ashton also featured on keyboards and backing vocals on this track. Again, and Rich Costey mixed the track, or just the single version anyway. It wasn't clear which one he mixed, but Rich has a couple of nicknames, old Rich Costey. So before we get his nicknames, he is an engineer at El Dorado Recording Studios, California. The recording studios have been there since 1954, so I assume he inherited it because he didn't look that old. But however, it moved to Sunset Boulevard in 1987 and then Burbank in 1996. He does have a website, costy.net. Not splashing out on the website. He's worked with Muse, Hair, System of a Down, Biffy Clyro, Foo Fighters, Rage Against the Machine, Springsteen, The Killers, Foster the People, Weezer, and he's a multi-platinum Grammy Award winner. Not for any of the Arctic Monkey songs he's mixed, obviously, famously, but Yeah, he's done pretty well, but he has got a couple of nicknames. Sneaky Rich
I like
Costy,
that.
and Rich the Octopus Costy, which I feel
They
like
are
Helders
not
is
good
responsible for that
nicknames.
one somehow. No, it does make
They
him sound a
are
bit
not-
rapey, doesn't it? He's sneaky and
Yeah.
he's got many tentacles, like a if you were
If you
to, a
don't want to sound like a
sweaty.
sex attacker, I'll have
No,
those
if
nicknames.
if you were a sort of famous LA music producer, you don't want to be likened to an animal with many tentacles for touching people, do you?
No.
Or sneaky at the same time. So yeah, sinister perhaps, but nothing's come out yet. So benefit of the doubt. He might be called the Octopus because he mixes so many tracks at a time that it's like he's got 8 tentacles.
Yeah, I bet his hands are all over the mixing desk.
Yeah, so they call him the Octopus. I feel like Helders might have had a hand in that nickname. Like,
That's
imagine
very
Helders saying
Helders, yeah.
Rich the Octopus Costy.
I'm surprised it wasn't said in the John Kennedy thing that we'll play later. I'm surprised.
No, but this
might
is the
do.
week of the interesting story though. It is a long John Kennedy clip this week. We talk about it for a while, but it's supposed to be expected with it being one of the biggest songs on the album. But this song it charted at number 1 in the UK indie chart and number 12 in the UK singles chart. So we're past the days of.
Good.
Yeah, it's good, but we're past the days of number 1s, really, aren't we now? And number 2s and shit. However, it did. That's the highest it got because it French singles chart number 23, so moving up the ranks there. No, sorry, number 15 in the Canadian singles chart, so they're still doing pretty well with us. 70 in the Austrian singles chart, but they've had the problems, haven't they? Japan singles chart 44, Switzerland airplay chart 86. First time I think we've been in the Swiss chart. I think there, but number 86.
Belgian Flanders
but
lads
still.
not get involved.
Oh, of course it is.
Stupid, sexy Flanders get involved.
Number 63 on Flanders and number 49 on the Wallonia. 2 charts they have. I mean, I don't know why it has 2 charts because if someone from Belgium listens and they could write in and explain, because I've been to Belgium and it's not big enough to warrant 2 charts. No.
If we've only got 1 chart, then
even America has 1 like Billboard chart, like main chart.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Crazy.
Japan singles chart. Japan's massive. 44 in Japan. Yeah, moving up there. Now, if anyone's interested, there is a paint available on lusthome.com called the Crying Lightning Matte Emulsion Paint, available for £38. That does sound like sounds like I've been paid again to drop that ad in, doesn't it? Imagine if I was lucky enough to find a paint company that would sponsor me to throw an ad into this podcast just because it's called the Crying Lightning Paint. How much would it be? It would be less than 38 quid, I can tell you that. I got a free tin of paint for saying that. But this paint exists nowhere else, by the way. I had a peruse around, so I can only assume it's a reference that this company made this paint because it's not like it exists anywhere else. I had a look. It's just on lusthome.com. So there you go. Maybe a fan. It's a very specific wording, is it? Crying lightning. It's a nice color as well. It was kind of like a sort of grey, like a modern grey. Like it was very nice. Kind of like your hat, but nicer. Like a sort of version you'd want on your wall, like a sort of shinier grey, like a nicer grey. Yeah, like a deeper grey. Yeah, it was nice. So yeah, lusthome.com for all your paint. Yeah, I'm joking.
I picked myself up a tin of that for breakfast.
That's Lust. Yeah, if you didn't it, you could get that on lusthome.com.
And what's that website again?
Lusthome, L-U-S-T home.com.
And
it's £38, so it's UK based.
Use the code Don't Believe the Hype at checkout for a discount.
Oh, hang on. It's UK based because it's £38. So let me just see if I can get it up and have a look whether it's based in Sheffield. That would explain a lot, wouldn't
code?
Yeah, if you use the code GetFreeDel, you'll get free delivery on orders over £100. That actually says that on the website. And she said it. They should be paying me. I don't know where it's based. It doesn't say. But go on headquarters. Give me the headquarters. No. Oh, select region. Oh, it's multi. Oh, it's not just. Oh, about us. Here we go. Our story. Here we go. Owned by Nick O'Malley. And no, I don't think I'll be talking about paint this much, but about us. We are a British online home decor brand. We specialize in original wallpapers and paint. Yep, gathered that by the website. Nothing about where they're from. But I'm going to assume they're Arctic Monkeys fans because of the Crying Lightning reference. So there you go.
Sorry, I've just.
It's very specific. It's not like that's a phrase that ever use. Did you do that on losthome.com using get free Dell if you spent over £100? Anyway, should we do ghost cookies?
Yeah, I think we probably should, shouldn't we? Let's get away from the. You asked me how many tins that paint sold now, aren't you?
You could say they're selling like ghost cookies.
Well, actually, we're going to mix up this week like paint that's available on losthome.com because they are sponsoring this week's ghost cookies. And yes, Nick, could you tell me how many matte emulsion tins sold in 2023? No. So United Kingdom only again. How many? I'll tell you this: it went gold, which means nothing because we can't figure out that system. Now, I know you're going to think because last week was so low because it was vinyl. You got to remember this wasn't just that. Last week was just the vinyl sales. This is just proper, release, proper cod pie release.
78,500.
I think you forgot what you were comparing it to in previous seasons when you've made that bold guess. So I'm going to give you another chance.
But the
charts, a bit higher than that.
But we're post.
You got to number 12. If you think it only takes 7,000-8,000 records to get to number 12, it might these days. It might, but this was 2009. Yeah, they were still semi-relevant.
I think
for about 2 more years.
We put one of these podcasts onto, if we released it as a single, I think we could get in the charts based on the fact you don't need any now.
Which song do you think would have the best?
We'll get
when we get to AM. If we release the Do I Want to Know episode onto the charts, it probably would get to like number 3. But go on.
To put us on Now That's What I Call Music, wouldn't they? That'd be good.
Right, now that's what I call podcasting. What a CD that'd be. It's 30 of the best podcasts. Wasn't Joe Rogan and Jack, mate?
265,000.
No. I wonder if you'll ever get one of these. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? If one day you just do get one. You've got to eventually. Yeah, you were very close once. It was 400,000, this one. Back in the big time. Guess who's back in the big time?
A lot of units there.
Do you know what I did think about this, Nick, though? Isn't it mad that no one's ever covered this? Of like, not like just YouTube people, but like actual. I thought, there's going to be a cover of this somewhere. But no one, worthy of discussing. Odd that. Such a tune. Considering there was like a cover of like Riot Van or no, not Riot Van, it was a sample, wasn't it? But like a cover of. There was a random cover on the last album, I think, wasn't there? It was yeah, there was a cover of Live for Lights Come On, yeah. But that was the time, wasn't it? Okay, shall we? Do you want to know about some of the lads?
There was a band that I can't remember what they're called now. I think they might be an American band, but they were playing in
American
Sheffield before Christmas, and they covered perhaps Vampires is a bit, but
were they an unknown band? I saw.
Yeah. I mean,
I
sold out
that.
The venue was in Sheffield, but yeah, I'd never heard of them.
Oh, right. Oh, no, I thought you meant I saw someone covering that was like an actual unknown band. They're actually selling venues in Sheffield.
No, these were... It might have been the Lead Mill they were playing somewhere, but yeah, the room went
good lads
when they played that.
I bet it did. Well, someone do a cover of Crying Lightning if you're listening. Who would you like to hear?
Paint, by the way,
I've decided that the new feature that I've just come up with on the fly, which we can have a new jingle for, which is going to form a covers band and all, is that when there isn't a cover of the song, which is most songs to be fair, because there isn't loads, you have to pick what artist you'd like to cover this song the most.
I'm gonna form a covers band and all.
In Korean, like BTS.
Oh really? You'd like them to do Crying Lightning?
I don't care. It'd just be funny, wouldn't it?
Well, I'm going to take this seriously, and I'm going to say I'd like Stormzy to do a cover of this. Kind of rap it a bit, like a kind of like ding 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 ding. Right, should we do some gear?
Technological advances really blooming get me in the mood.
No, but I just think with the cat, it's kind of like ding 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 ding. Could be a bit rap, couldn't it? Could be a bit like someone could rap over that. I'm surprised it's never been sampled.
George Weskin, dirty stanking.
Yeah, like ding 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 ding. But actually singing this song, so it'd be like next time I saw my own reflection, it was on its way to you. I'm Stormzy. You and Jack.
I'd hope he'd get the words right, but
Well, freestyle, innit? So
Good save, good save.
Well, next week we're going to do that segment from now on with a jingle. So next week for Dangerous Animals, you can think of an actual band. It was off the cuff this week, so we didn't really. I don't think I'd actually want Stormzy to do it, but so next week we'll get going. Don't you think of it now? So on this, Alex uses the Fender Jazzmaster. Some people recommend using a pedal for this one, so the Proco Rat distortion pedal. But if you can get a similar sound by just playing through your amp with the overdrive on and some treble, or most decent distortion pedals will give you the sound that you require. Although if you do go for the Proco, if you have the distortion set at 5 o'clock, the filter at 11 o'clock, and the volume at 11 o'clock, you'll get the sound for this song. Look at that information. That's first class information. That I'm giving you the dials, everything.
Yeah.
And people say I'm just a big pair of tits. And people say for the solo, throw on the tube screamer on the amp. So if you're doing the solo, throw on the tube screamer on the amp. I used to love my tube amp, my Vox tube amp on the amp. So they recommend a Ibanez TS9 tube screamer set to 11 o'clock on the drive, 1 o'clock on the level, and 5 o'clock on the tone. And apparently, Alex. So this is a serious segment for serious musicians, Nick. Apparently, Alex also uses a Morley Power and Ovation Viper in the video, and you can also use a Boss C1 for vibrato, Colposonic Valve Slapper. I mean, you can when you hear that, you can understand why they were coming up with fake pedal names.
Valve
can't
Slapper
you?
sounds like one of those euphemisms for homosexuals.
Valve Slapper, Vulva Slapper.
See them two lads. Them two lads have moved in next door. They're a pair of Valve Slappers.
Well, I'd say Valve Slapper sounds more like a lesbian sister situation. The Valve Slapper. Coopersonic Valve Slapper, which sounds so much like Library Pictures stuff, doesn't it? Like the Blondasonic Shimmer Trap or something, a Fender Blender or a Fender Blender for solo. So you can use a Boss CE1 for vibrato and a Coopersonic Valve Slapper or a Fender Blender for solos. Jamie, the old Jamie Cook, special man himself, has been seen using a Fender Telecaster. Spotted in the wild. Well, if you hear wait for the John Kennedy story, and Jamie has been seen using a Fender Telecaster, although a custom version with a tremolo installed, and it's the color of mocha, which is nice, isn't it? However, white chocolate mocha from Starbucks, bloody gorgeous. However, in the video, I'm not getting paid by Starbucks either. I bloody wish. In the video, Jamie has a Fender Starcaster semi hollow body guitar. Also for Jamie, he used a Strymon Flint with the tremolo engaged set to 12 o'clock intensity, the mix at 9 o'clock, the speed at 3 o'clock, the decay at 2 o'clock, and the color at 9 o'clock with the Verg 60s at the top level.
Like 60 to the top level, baby.
Top level. I sound like I'm doing like a sort of what's his Clarkson talking about a car, don't I? Also with a Boss, also for Jamie with a Boss RE20 with the bass set at 9, the treble at 1, the verb at 7, the mode at 9, the repeat rate at 5, intensity 3, echo 2, and input volume 1. And he also uses the Ibanez, same as Alex, with the same settings. Now, we're not just on guitar this week, because for Nick, apparently, he doesn't use any effects, according to some reports on this, but he runs 2 SVTs, with one being set for a clean tone and the other being set for a more overdriven tone. And apparently you would get a fairly close sound to that if you just use a full tone bass drive. But conflicting reports that he does use a Rat, the previous pedal we just said, a Rat pedal too, and it has the distortion set at 11, filter at 12, and volume 1. There you go. If you want Nick's amazing bass sound, as we'll get into soon for this, you can do that. So there you go. You don't get a lot of info for Helders, because I think he pretty much, for most songs, probably uses similar kit, doesn't he? I'd imagine a lot drum kit in it. Maybe for AM. Yeah, sure. Do you want to? So that's it. Yeah, that's it. Do you think? I'm hoping, it's fairly dull stuff, really, isn't it? But I'm hoping there'll be someone that's into the stuff, and they go, "I wish I knew how to." If just one person listens to this, goes, "I wish I knew how to create the sound of Crying Lightning," and they get the exact.
It there. If just one person listens to this. Hey Dan, do you like listening to popular songs with questionable lyrics?
You know I bloody do. And Nick, do you like drinking copious amounts of alcohol?
Nah, do I ever? Actually a worry.
Well, if you're the same as us, then come listen to a weekly podcast, Liquor and Lyrics, where we take apart popular music's worst songwriting whilst drinking our favourite drinks, which kind of stay in theme with the song.
From Gin and Tonic to Grease Lightning.
Cosmopolitans with Chaz and Dave.
Blue Lagoons with Busted.
Sex on the Beach with Sex on Fire.
Shirley Temples with Shaggy.
And even a shandy with Sharon.
Dropping on Tuesday the 19th of September and every Tuesday after on your favourite podcast platform.
Let's do some reviews. Not of us. Yeah, we might get an email one day that one of our listeners has, sadly passed away from some disease, and his mum writes in to say that one of the last things that brought him joy was being able to set his equipment precisely to the tones and effects that Arctic Monkeys perform for all the songs on Humbug. And we gave him some joy in his final days for that. That's what I'm hoping for out of this.
Before turning the gun on himself.
No. It was just cancer. No, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, but I'm just saying, we could make someone very, someone. I know if I was a teenager, I would have known what to set exactly what equipment to buy to sound like Arctic Monkeys, which is what I always wanted.
We'd have bloody loved that knowledge.
We'd have loved it, wouldn't we? We would have, yeah. Born 15 years too early.
Where was this podcast when we were pissing around in a bandana?
Well, ironically, if we'd started podcasting at around that time, we might be really rich now, YouTubers. Yep.
Mate, don't go thinking that doesn't keep me up at night.
Oh yeah. Even if we just stayed in touch when we were around 20, like 21, 22, that was when it was kicking off. We could have done something. We're still going to get there.
Could have got early to the podcast.
Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Us and Gervais.
Set your amps. Don't turn the gun on yourself, because it's going to happen. Don't you worry. Did we do the review string? I can't remember at this point. How professional we were last week. So Pitchfork said there was a lot of information. You've got a lot of information. Pitchfork said about the album, it's produced by Queens of Stone Age Godhead Josh Homme. The track excellently turns the Arctic's oftentimes too antic blitzkrieg pop into something a tad slower and heavier and more fucked. That's crude. Even considering Turner's newly face-obscuring mop and the record's blacklight ready sleeve, I hesitate to call this a stoner rock move. Stoners aren't this perceptive. Because, speak for yourself. Because while the music is hazier, Turner's laser-pointed way with life's little details remains intact. But so the review continues. What exactly is this little game you had called Crying Lightning? What's he going on about? An acute case of crying wolf? Tears as high-voltage trigger? Hard to say, but the phrase evokes more than enough, especially in the context of this tragically comic tale of gobstoppers, pick and mix, and aggravated ice cream men. A suitable soundtrack for Willy Wonka's next wayward boat ride. Now, controversial perhaps, our friends at NME, on their greatest list, I put this at number 30 on the list, saying the towering lead single of Humbug frames a romantic relationship not as an inevitably but a dare. Not as an inevitability, but a dare. This is where the album's gloomy, callous aesthetic reaches dazzling heights with the most microscopic of details, translating to sustained melodrama. I think 30 is low for this, personally. And maybe when I get to do my own list and I see what's above it, maybe I'll go, oh no, actually. But, from where I'm sitting now, it's low.
Off the top of my head, it's top 20, at least, for me, right now.
Gotta be. I'd say so, yeah. I mean, it could even creep in the top 10 on a good day. Maybe not, but we'll see. It is a tune. Let's talk about that tune. Let's do it. The music.
That was a good link.
Thanks. I had to happen eventually. I mean, the bass and drum opening to this song. We talked about the bass and the settings and that. The bass is something else. I can't even think of anything similar to the bass in this now. It sounds like it's just so full, isn't it? It's so just insanely, I don't know, you'd be forgiven for thinking it was guitar perhaps if you didn't know.
Without a shadow of a doubt, one of my favourite O'Malley bass lines this is.
Oh yeah. Do you think O'Malley came up with the riff? Because the riff and the guitar riff are the same as usual, and sometimes O'Malley's the one that comes up with that more often than not, isn't he?
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
Do you reckon it's an Alex or a... What I reckon is Alex writes a song on it. I think Alex writes it on an acoustic as a strum, and then when they get in the recording studio, Nick O'Malley writes a bass that's so succulent that it has to go on guitar as well.
Right, so fat and juicy that it just has
Oh
to.
yeah. Yeah. And Hell just can't wait to wrap a beat around it. Get a bit sexual, isn't it, for some reason?
Jesus Christ, just felt tingling.
Should go to the doctor about that. The only thing I can think of from a bass line in terms of like in your face that much is like Jukebox or something by The Strokes. Yeah, kind of like dum,
Yeah.
dum, 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 like something that's just like there. But speaking of the Helders, the drums are perfect with his little drum rolls. Just like he's not. I wouldn't say this is like one of his most prolific songs, but he's doing his great Helders work in it because I'd say this is kind of
the flourishes again.
Yeah, the flourishes and the little. Well, we always say the little Jamie Cook specials, but for the flourishes, we call them the little heldovers. Shit in it. What does it? No.
That's like a sham.
No.
Well, I did that out.
No, I should just. I've got Turner a phrase. Should be happy with my lot, shouldn't I? I tell you what, I do love though when the as much as I love the bass when the guitar comes in, doing the same sort of riff. It's again, you know what? Like last week, it's kind of like it's the same world as Fake Tales and Teddy Picker and Fluorescent Adolescent, but just taken to another level and better. Fluorescent Adolescent's riff is a great riff, to be fair, as is Fake Tales. But I don't know, like this guitar riff is just something else. I don't know, it's amazing.
Also with the guitar riff as well, it's
not even the best bit
one
of the
those
song.
examples of Alex playing a lead riff and singing at the same time. Where it's like it's not that complicated a riff, but when you're singing at the same time, it bloody well is.
Yeah.
The second verse where he's singing,
definitely.
It's like, how are you doing this?
How are you doing that? Yeah. I mean, the way the guitar.
The only thing I can compare it with in that respect is Men's Needs by the Cribs. He's playing that riff while singing, and I just think, how are you doing? What's going on here?
Yes, especially if you're not singing to the rhythm of the riff, like it's pretty crazy, isn't it? I could never do it. But not that they're being compared to me, obviously.
Right.
Well, maybe they should be.
If we're not comparing them
they'd
to
win.
then they are.
Be an easy comparison for them. Should we do Alex compared to Prince? Start with Dan Holt. Yep, easy one. Start off easy. But no, the way the I do think in a weird way the way the guitar sounds when it comes in, like the actual sound of it does kind of match with the sort of the twisted kids element of the lyrics, like that kind of like twisted. I'm gonna say fairy tale-esque, but like dark story using sort of childlike metaphors. It does. The guitar does sound like the lyrics in that respect, which is something I think we've said before about some stuff, but. Some good Jamie Cook specials there as well.
Very
in this
good
beginning.
Jamie Cook specials. Yeah, this is the first we've seen of him on this album.
No, we had some last week. Remember?
We did.
My propeller with that, because we were talking about being peak Jamie Cook special, and we're not even at the peak yet. We're nowhere near the peak of Jamie Cook special on this album. Nowhere near.
I cannot wait for the peak though.
But yeah, no, he's doing great Jamie Cook bits, jangly bits, the jangly bits of Jamie Cook.
Not
the best kid story I've ever written, but
if David Williams can sell a kid's book, then you definitely can, mate. With that, don't worry.
That's true. But actually, it just got me thinking when I said that then about Fluorescent Adolescent, like with the riff, the guitar riff, the way the Jamie Cook specials work in this, and the lyrical content. You think about Fluorescent Adolescent and the riff of Fluorescent Adolescent. So this you've got in Fluorescent Adolescent you've got you've got Jamie Cook doing the kind of in this doing the sort of lead, plucking a few strings, doing a strum, and in Fluorescent Adolescent he does that as well, but it's a lot more like brighter in First Adolescent, the sound of it, but like we say, this song is actually, and with the lyrics being metaphors for childlike stuff and youth, this is almost like the inverse of First Adolescent.
Oh, I'd never thought about it like that.
The dark and twisted version of First Adolescent. It's similar riff, similar jangly bits, similar structure, and the lyrical content is, I know that's about a woman looking back in nostalgia, but it uses those kind of childlike metaphors of youth, and this does the same thing. Except she's this kind of the young version of the woman from First Adolescent, I guess, in this, isn't she? The kind of
Very much so.
the game player. And if First Adolescent is the fairground in the day, then Crying Lightning is the fairground at night, I would say, of the songs.
Oh, I mean, it's weird. Like on any other album, this song would be peak fairground, but this is an album that features Jeweller's Hands. It's bonkers.
And I love the thought of coming home to you,
What a tune.
even if
What a
I know
tune.
I can make it. Should we go see him at
Or just
Co-op Live?
Wait until we do favorite musical moment, favorite Manchester band songs on the pre-show. Speaking of the pre-show, for subscribers, you can get access to episodes a week early, and we also have pre-show and post-show chat where we do our various pop culture lists, probably inspired by High Fidelity, I think, because that's
And now
thing
Cryptic
now.
Clues as well, which I've still
Yes.
got to work on. But yeah, no, I just think it's it is a similar kind of vibe to First Adolescent, but just twisted, just upside down. It's like Stranger Things. This is the upside down version of First Adolescent.
That's. And weirdly enough, even though it doesn't sound very 80s, I think there are a few songs on this album that could fit on the Stranger Things soundtrack, even though it's not 80s or synthy.
No, definitely, yeah.
This song could definitely fit on the. In fact, I might do that in the same way that I did "You're So Dark" for the Wednesday Addams dance scene. I might do, the bit in the last series, that amazing shot where they're riding on the bikes and then the camera tilts to the upside down and they're all riding the bikes as well.
Yeah.
I think that'd be good with this.
Ding,
Well, that's what I'm doing instead of working tomorrow.
Well, got to do something. Yeah, no. So yeah, that's my kind of take on it. It's First Adolescent's evil twin, you might say, as well.
Ooh. Lyric alarm?
Yeah, go on, have it. Let's have it. Does he say it in the lyric? Does he say it in the lyric though? Did he actually say evil twin? No, so we can't have lyric on, can we? Is that the song title alarm?
It's
Do we have
just
one of them?
been revoked.
Song title. So some then we just drop to not just a host, a producer as well. Then we drop to just bass and drums again. What a bass riff, obviously, as we know. Jamie drops in some specials during this drop down space as well. Again, he's got some of his little Jamie cut bits. I think of this bit, it's even more of a kind of dark fluorescent adolescent because it has like that has the similar thing in the verses where it drops to just the bass with Jamie doing some jangly guitar, doesn't it? Very similar structure of the songs. But then after that second verse, we drop to probably one of my favorite bits of the song, which is just a guitar riff down with Alex singing the ding 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 ding. Yeah. I love this riff. They love a riff on its own so far this album, don't they? Because you got My Propeller, goes straight into the riff on its own. You got this with the riff on its own. Will there be more? Tune in to find out.
Yes, would be the answer to that.
Yeah, they love it. They
Spoiler
love a riff
alert.
on their own. Helders gets involved in his own. Just some some build-up drums, I should say. Sorry, but I did feel listening to it that they weren't you were at bang average build-up drums. They were a little bit funky, a little bit of a Helders take on the
There's
build-up
a
drums.
bit
I
of
felt.
funkiness been injected.
Yeah, you can't take away his funkiness.
It's just what
Not
he
that
does.
anyone's suggesting that they've gone to. Although some people are suggesting that they have got rid of some of his funkiness, but. It goes a bit chaotic, really, doesn't it? It goes a bit chaotic with the drums and the guitar, switching to a build up. Like it goes a bit like it kind of does that when the drums come in. It's like chaotic, but it reminds me of Sketchhead a bit Sketchheady. I always think this bit that kind of ding 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 ding.
Very Sketchhead, yeah.
And I actually think they brought this sound to Josh Homme because the song Elephant by them Crooked Vultures is very much a similar humbuggy riff. Just a bit faster maybe, but I feel like even though he had a lot of riffs and stuff before, obviously, I just feel like he had a bit of Arctic Monkeys influence him back as well during the process.
I'm delighted that them Crooked Vultures have got a mention on here because I think they're a lot more humbuggy than a lot of Queens of Stone Age stuff is.
Oh yeah, Queens of Stone Age stuff isn't really.
No, but them Crooked Vultures is that could quite easily have like been a nice little companion to Humbug.
Yeah, it's interesting because after Josh Homme kind of worked with them and then on this, and then he got involved a bit with AM very loosely, or it came down, didn't he, and had a listen and had a few beers and all that. They kind of did that Elton John record where he did a song on it and he wrote some stuff on it and Alex wrote some lyrics on it, didn't he? And I feel like a lot of that sound and then the Queens of the Stone Age album after that was very, I don't know, it was very different. And I did feel a bit of the funk, a bit of Alex's style had rubbed off a bit on Homme in some of that.
Yeah. It's a two-way street, isn't it?
But then having said that, they Queens of Stone Age had songs like Make It With You and stuff. So they always had a bit of that. It kind of makes sense why they would collaborate, really. But yeah, just always a bit sketchy that bit. I think that ding 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 ding, just that kind of vibe to it. I have to say, one of my favorite parts of the song is the way that I've always loved this. The way that after it does this chaotic kind of ding ding ding, it goes into the way it transitions from this into the second verse. Is one of my favorite parts of any Arctic Monkey song. The way it just goes and then it just goes straight into the riff. The song just transitions into the verse, and Alex's singing transitions into the first line. It's honestly, it's one of their finest moments. I think it's such a good the way the riff just carries on, and he's playing the riff like, playing this riff while singing is really impressive and cool as fuck as well. And you can like sway while you're playing it. You can feel it, can't you? One of my favorite bits. It's so brief. It's just the way that because everything kind of stops and the guitar just does that little fill rather than a drum fill. You might have seen a drum fill there, but isn't a drum fill. It's a guitar fill. It's like a very brief guitar fill, and then it just bangs straight into the second verse. It's honestly fantastic. And then in the second verse as well,
I love that build at the start of the second verse. Just the way the song kind of takes on a new level.
Well, because it just kind of goes down, down. It goes down, 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 and the next time that and the riff carries on. And it's just magnet. What a moment! What a time to be alive. Yeah. In fact, on that, I will save it for the. Oh, I know. I meant to say when I said on the introduction about the Zane Lowe play for the first time. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember listening.
You remember where you were?
I think I was working. I think I would have been working nights at the time, so I probably would have woken up like an hour or two before, done my tea and what have you, and been getting ready to go out to work. And I'd kind of obviously knowing the background, obviously we'd had tidbits of like the recording process and stuff that
Tidbits.
they were doing it out in the desert with Josh Homme and stuff like that. So I kind of thought, oh, it's gonna be different to what we've had before. Because even though Brian Storm was a bit out there when you first heard it, there was still elements that you'd seen from the first album.
Yeah.
It wasn't too out there, but yeah, hearing this, I was just like, oh, it felt it was great. It was great hearing it. I was like, oh, the boys have grown up. Oh
Yeah.
God, I loved it.
Yeah,
It's not too jarring either because his voice is still. I mean, his voice is still a lot closer to the first couple of eras than it is to now. So there were only certain songs where it started to progress a bit differently, his voice. So it's still mostly there.
Yeah, definitely. I think I remember I was at a like TV school that was evenings, and I remember getting the train back, and it was going to be on the radio, and I remember getting, because there's like near Stockport train station, there's these two blocks of flats, and there's a little tiny square car park for those flats, and I used to park there because it was free. And it's a bit sketched to walk through that bit to get to your car in the evening, to be honest. But and I remember getting to my car, my old Fiat Punto, and I remember getting in it and flicking on the radio, defrosting the car, and I know it was summer, so just getting in the car and just sitting there, it just came on. But yeah, I just remember it was everything I wanted it to be and more, I think, at the time.
I think this was the only time that I'd purchased a song on iTunes because I was that desperate to hear it again and again and again.
I think it
iTunes
was.
And bought it.
He's skinflint. I did that loads of times. What do you mean? It was at least 79p a track, wasn't it? Mind you, back then, I guess.
It's not like now where you just go on Spotify and listen to it to your heart's content, or Apple Music or whatever.
Yeah, you just have to buy it once for 79p and you get it forever. You can play it as much as you want.
No, but it's the first time I'd done that. I was always like, I always pirated stuff. I was like, I was sailing the high seas for everything. And I just
so did I, TV and stuff.
Messing around, finding a torrent. I just went straight on iTunes and just paid for it straight away.
It had, it was amazing. And I think it gave me expectations of the whole album being, Crying Lightning-esque, which it wasn't, to be fair to them. As ever, whenever they drop the single, you always expect the rest of the album to be that similar way, and it never is, really. Rarely. But I can't put into words the way that bit goes. It's just succinct, just flows in this beautiful way into that second verse. Helders does a little change up in the drums as we kind of saunter into the chorus. A nice lovely strumming switch up as well for the chorus, isn't it? I always love a distorted strum. It's always great. You really get a distorted strum.
Oh my God. Is that when you try and knock one out when you're pissed?
Just always love that sound and the way it just flips into it. Not really had that, and then he just transitions into it, and then after obviously that chorus we drop into the riff on its own again. I keep saying on its own, but on the record I always feel like it has two guitars because it sounds so like dynamic.
It sounds like it's such a full sound.
Yeah, but it mustn't be live because someone Alex comes in with the solo mid playing of that drop down. So I think on the album it is two, just to give it a fuller sound. But I think they normally do that on most albums anyway. I think they normally layer two guitars over any one guitar to give it more of a sound. I know they do that if you're in a band with one guitar anyway.
Or if you're Oasis doing the third album, you layer it about 18 times. You just do a load of cocaine and go, nope, 12 guitars isn't enough. We need 6 more.
It's the Manchester way. But they
no one else does it.
Yeah, it's not
never got more sense.
No, we're gonna do a lot of cocaine and layer this podcast 18 times. don't know what that means.
Booming.
But yeah, I don't know what that means. But yeah, then we come into what is a kind of a burst of a solo, isn't it? I do love the solo. This is that solo is actually you said about Queens of Stone Age. This solo is very Queens of Stone Age-esque.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
But with a monkey slant on it. It's not all the way. It's got a little monkey slant. It's like it's been given a spliff and slowed right down to a fast slow.
Mate.
It's like a fast slow, isn't it?
It's slower but faster. Yeah.
Yeah, slow faster or fast slow. It's one of them. I think it's more leaning towards a slow fast. No, fast slow.
Yeah.
It's just cool. It's just cool.
Very loungy. So
yeah, do you know what it always reminded me of? There's a song called "Straight Up and Down" by the Brian Jonestown Massacre, and it's got that. It's that kind of ding 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 ding, ding that kind of surfer stoner rock vibe solo, just that kind of like slow fast solo, which are always
weirdly
great.
enough, my ex, who wasn't an Arctic Monkeys fan, I
Well
managed
documented.
to get her to I managed to get her on this pod. I managed to get her listening to this album based on the Brian Jonestown Massacre and Coral comparisons. And
Yeah, I actually think considering how did she like it?
Yeah, she thought it was all right. Yeah, not enough to be like, right, I'm gonna still be on live though, didn't she?
Yeah, twat.
It's been 7 months since he left me, and I'm really struggling to put my life together and get over it. But I'm gonna go and see his favorite band. That'll help.
Got that out of your system? You all right?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, fine. Yeah. Yeah.
The way your face froze then on the camera because you froze slightly, you look like a sort of very budget Pedro Pascal for a moment. Like very budget.
Not even budget. You had to go very budget.
Well, come on, it's Pedro Pascal. That's not. You know.
I'll bring the mustache back again. See how you like that. The mustache that I only grow to annoy my collaborators.
Then we call you Pedo Pascal, which is a great joke.
Pedo Rascal, more like.
But no, that solo. Actually, I say the Brian Jonestown Massacre, but it always reminded me. We've just mentioned it, but it always reminded me a bit Brick by Bricky as well as solo. It's got like because Brick by Vic's very much that Brian Jonestown Massacre stoner sound, isn't it? That kind of solo-y, that kind of There's a certain style to it. But no, great little solo. I love it. This solo makes me want to pick up a guitar. That's this solo. It makes me want to pick up a guitar and pull a face like this, like a sort of. For people not listening, I'm kind of scrunching my face up and sticking my tongue out.
He's voluntarily scrunching his face, and he's doing a bit of Jamie Cook Power as well. What song is it where someone sings "You make me wanna pick up a guitar"? Who is that?
You make me wanna pick up a guitar. I think it's
Interpol. It's Interpol. It's Interpol. Got it.
Okay. Yep. I was gonna go scouting for girls, but whatever.
I won't be ringing them up.
Another New York act that neither of us put in.
Oh,
see pre-show.
I'm going to end recording.
Starting again.
We're going to start again.
Maybe you can rectify it in the. Some of this album very much took into consideration that a friend with weed's a friend indeed. I would imagine. Great solo, and only like a burst as well. It's not a huge solo, is it? But it does the job.
No, it's not. Yeah, it would have been very easy for them to just milk the solo and just carry it on. But no, they know. No,
they didn't do an Oasis again to reference them. So should we make this song 3 minutes? Nah, I got 12-minute solo plan. Don't you worry about that. But yeah, and then another chorus. But no, we get the kind of build-up, wig-out, sketch head style riff that I mentioned earlier. The kind of ding, 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 ding. But after that, we drop to some what I would call marching band drums from Helders. He's gone full army Lieutenant Helders on us. Helders. Who left the tank turned on? Elders. My understanding of the military isn't great.
Yeah, I was going to say left the tank turned on.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
But no,
National,
great,
bring back
cool.
national service, I say. Bring back national service for podcasters.
Bring it back all you want. I won't be anywhere.
Imagine you
Cool.
on national service and you walk into the office on the first day. It's like, do you need any video editing doing?
Any comedy scripts need writing? Well, no.
Yeah.
No, everyone's got a laugh, haven't they?
It's gonna make a great sitcom.
They've already done
Or you
it.
just
Blackadder.
You just walk in on the first day dead camp like, I smell a sitcom.
But cool drums. Something you wouldn't expect from him before as well. You don't get many marching military style beats from old Machu. Do you? Machu Picchu.
I don't think we're going to see any more.
Quite hard, I imagine, as well, from a kind of technical timing perspective.
Yeah,
like hard, like people think it's easy to do something like that, but to maintain that speed, you'll either actually you've seen. I'm sure everyone listening probably seen Whiplash when he's trying to maintain that speed on the drums, that sort of slowly and build it back up. Like that is really hard to do, to maintain one speed on a march like that, because naturally you're going to either want to speed it up slightly without even realizing, or slow it down. So to maintain that same very technical in the way that he will get on the 6 studio album, perhaps with a bit of jazz.
Yes.
Jazz strumming.
Okay,
Ooh, yes. Technological advances. But yeah, but we're here. We're at this one. We're at this divisive album first. Not devices for me, but not devices for the rest of you, apparently. Not how I remember it. But
we see you.
You know you are. Some weird kind of trippy sounds accompanying it as well. I noticed when he's doing if you listen to especially on the instrumental, when he's just doing the marching beat, I've never heard it before. You can hear all these sort of weird sounds. I don't know if it was some effect from the instrumental to take out Alex's singing. It might have been, but there was all this weird sound over it. I guess it might have been to get rid of the singing, actually, because it was really weird sound over it. And I thought, I've never noticed that before. But I think it's because they removed the singing, isn't it? Yeah. And that's what it was. So ignore me. Ignore me. I'm chit-chatting. Some weird kind of no, sorry. Then we pause and the full band's back in. Beast of a moment, this, isn't it? Big moment. Huge moment. Kind of
one of my favourite moments at the gig last year. That was actually when that came back in. I just love that. Yeah, that was the moment at the gig where I was like, we're seeing Arctic Monkeys.
I think it has actually some of their finest work as a full band, even to date. I'd say, if I was listening to it, as a full band, as a big moment, one of their finest work. It's really powerful, I think, when it all comes in with all of them doing the various bits. It's like a wall of sound, I would say. With that,
come back, Mr. Spectre. All is forgiven. It's not. You're jail for life for a reason.
Awful wigs, but it is almost like being in a storm. I thought, which makes me feel like the wind's whipping in my face when I hear this bit when it all comes in. Which
fits with the video.
It fits with the video, yeah. So, but I did feel like, because it just kind of just hit you like a storm, like the way it kind of comes back in with the ding 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 ding, and you can just imagine it. Yeah, I think it's one of the best full band moments they've ever done, personally.
Yes.
In terms of impact, I'm trying to think of others like when Brian Stone comes back in, perhaps, and 505 outro, perhaps, Set Romance solo, certainly. Outro, this, and ones for the future. I can't think of right now.
And I think I'd say the last chorus in Are You Mine as well.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah,
live.
that's sexy.
Yeah.
That is sexy in many ways. But I don't know why I went like that when I said that. There you go. the thing I took away most from this, to be honest, when I finished kind of collating my thoughts, was that it just has this like incredible flow to it. This song, it's one of their best in terms of a well-constructed song and a flow to it. And in fact, I'm going to make a bold statement here, perhaps too bold, that I'd say this is the best song we've heard them do so far in our journey on this podcast.
That is bold.
Well, because I love certain romance and stuff, obviously, always, forever. But in terms of like just a really well put together, proper grown up, you know,
Coming of age,
balls of drops song. This is like it flows beautifully. It's got a beefy, beautiful opening. It flows into that second verse in a way that is magical. The lyrics are fantastic. The solo is great. Helders is mixing it up with some marching drums, and then this huge big outro that doesn't do anything flashy. It just hits you, does its thing, and gets out. I just think it's one of the best songs they've written so far.
For all the family.
Yeah. And I think from a song construction point of view, a songwriting point of view, a band progression point of view, this is the best song they've done, in my opinion, so far. That could change very quickly. That could be replaced very quickly.
Well, let's all of us get in touch. All the details are in the episode description. Get in touch and let us know when you think Dan will revise that opinion.
It's hard, better than this. It's going to be tough, actually, for me, I think. This I really fell in love with this song.
Yeah.
Listen to it instrumentally as well was really like made me fall in love with the song even more because I realized how well put together it is. And kudos and credit to Homie because it is a fantastic piece of
a Josh Homme production.
Art. It is, yeah, you can tell. Nothing against old 40, but I think this is a kind of step up in I want to say kind of not production values, but in making the song impactful from a sound point of view, because obviously he's in Queens of fucking Stone Age. So if anyone knows how to layer tracks and shit to make them blow your earballs off, then it's Queens of Stone Age. So I just think, great work all round from everyone. Anyway, most professional song they've done as well so far, I'd say. Proper adult grown up song, this. Like I said last week, like I said last week, if no one had ever heard of this band before, the first two albums weren't a thing. They weren't indie darlings and all that. And then first time you hear this on the radio, boom, Crying Lightning, everyone would be like, "What the fuck? This is incredible!" Because they were kind of tarred with the Arctic Monkeys indie pop hit brush already. It was probably dismissed by most people.
And there's a very childlike quality to particularly the first album.
Yeah, so a time, isn't it? And this is not much later than that time, but it feels very different. But they are out in the fucking. I mean, this is grown up shit going to record an album in the desert with who was one of the biggest sort of, and one of the biggest rock band of the time, and one of them, and one of your idols. It's proper grown up shit now. This. You're not just in Liverpool making second album. Come on now.
Yeah. You've not been given like 50 quid to take a picture of an album cover. Shit's happening.
No. Now. This is where, and they're probably where their love affair with Americana began, I would imagine. Yes. Which has continued.
Yeah, well, because it's very prevalent in this album onward.
Very prevalent. You can hear the desert in this album, can't you? You can just hear it. I can't ever think or listen to this album without dreaming of that documentary I always bemoan that we don't have. Like, why someone wasn't going... They get filmed all the time in every other fucking album. Why someone wasn't going around making a fucking load of footage of this so that one day I can... Maybe there is. Maybe one day I could reach out to them if I get something else made and say, look, do you have any footage from that time? I'd love to make a documentary about it. Oh my God, I'm dreaming now.
Or maybe it's a case of what happens in the desert stays in the desert. Wink, wink.
Or I'll just interview them about it and write a fake film about it. But the lyrics, as you touched on Alex's voice, same but different. How would you view it as being different? He's still doing that rap singing, complicated sort of talk, isn't he? that he's always done.
But I think with the chorus, he's making more of an effort to sing, only slightly more than before.
Yeah,
It's
and
very much a gradual thing.
if you compare it to what we said was one of the better performed and better written songs of Fate Worst Nightmare, which is If You Were There, Beware, this is a step up vocally from that, even though it's a similar kind of style in that essence. So, yeah, again, they just sound a bit older, don't they? I mean, how old were they? It's 2009, so they would have been about, so I think they would have been about 21, yeah, something like that, yeah.
Good age.
I'm still looking at Morrison's then.
So they were.
No, so happens a new generational talent, isn't it? Not me. Not in the supermarket game. Certainly not. No one would ever accuse me of that. Yeah. So come on. Then. What's it all about then? This one, Nick? What do you reckon? All right, so we'll start with it. What do you think Crying Lightning is?
So the first thing I think Crying Lightning, I think of Mascara running.
Absolutely, exactly. Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
That's got to be what it is, because when a girl cries, mascara looks like lightning. And as we'll get into as we go, she uses it
no,
as
Dan,
a girl.
I've made a girl cry.
I have. Sorry. Made one cry before we came on air. No, I'm joking. She's a good girl.
Is that her cowering in the corner?
As if, yeah, she batter me. I'd no, yeah, it's got to be that. And I guess the story of the song. Yeah. So, what do you think the story of the song is then? Like a manipulative girl who uses crying as a kind of game.
Yeah, I almost see it kind of as a darker Mardy Bum. But I think.
Yeah, you said
the girl, all the childlike imagery that pops up, like the ice cream van, the sweets and everything. It just gives this image of immaturity to me. She's not doing it for any reason other than the fact she doesn't know any better. I think that's how she thinks.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's about a girl he meets, and I think at first he finds her, as we'll get into in a minute, but I think he finds her interesting and charming with her games. Yeah. But then it starts to wear thin, and he sees her for what she really is, which is a manipulative game playing child, like you say. Hence the childlike metaphors throughout. It's interesting. I was thinking when I was reading it, because we've been doing the first Shadow Puppets album on our subscriber content. And a lot of the content in this we just did in my room that came out last week, and a lot of the lyric content on that album, or exclusively nearly all of it, is about a manipulative girl who you like, but then kind of maybe feel mixed about by the end of the relationship because of her games. So I feel like a bit of that time has seeped into his lyrical writing here. I feel like I feel like feels very Shadow Puppet-y lyrics to me, but less opaque. He's made them more sort of. I mean, the Shadow Puppet lyrics are really we've done a good job of deciphering them, I think, but on the pod. But I think they purposely made them even more abstract than Alex normally is. So I think here it's a little bit easier to read. But yeah, I just think it's a bit of a holdout from TLSP. This lyrically. He's monkeyed it. He's monkeyed it.
This could almost have been a Last Shadow Puppet song, but I think the references that are in it just wouldn't fit with it. But at the same time, the references would fit, because it's like a 60s 70s vibe, and stuff like Gobstopper and all that people associate with the 70s and stuff.
It depends really, doesn't it?
Too on the nose if they'd done it.
Yeah, it's different because I do feel like when you listen to the Shadow Puppets albums and then you listen to Arctic Monkeys around them times, even though you see the influences, I feel like he has a kind of switch of songwriting where he changes it for Shadow Puppets than he does here. Maybe that's because he writes some of them with Miles, but I just feel like he does it. He purposely goes into the recesses of his mind. He doesn't have to perhaps adhere to the rules he feels like he has to, or used to before Tranquility. I feel like he used to think, hence why with Tranquility he thought, I can't release this as an Arctic Monkeys album, because he felt restricted artistically by the fact that he was in Arctic Monkeys, one of the biggest rock bands of the 21st century. So he didn't feel he could do anything too opaque. So Shadow Puppets was him getting into the weeds of his mind and releasing that out of him, which now he just does anyway, for the most, well, and Tranquility certainly. But Speak Tranquility would have been better received if it was a third Shadow Puppets album.
Yes.
Interesting, that, isn't it? Yeah. Although we've had Miles singing like some of it, which would have been like the trainer's explanation was accepted by the steward. Steward. Inhaler. Right, so should no, should we get into the lyrics then?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Okay, so first line. Oh, first sort of outside the cafe by the cracker factory, you were practicing a magic trick. So to me, that's like a mental home, right? A cracker factory. Maybe not literally a mental home, but like figuratively. So in the way that you'd say from in the north of England, you'd say, or maybe anyway. Oh no, in America as well. It's the thing, isn't it? You'd say that girl's crazy. And the way we say that girl's crazy, I'd say she's crackers. So the cracker factory. So it could mean literally a mental home, that she is actually mentally ill, but I can't see that really.
Linked into Cornerstone.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess maybe it is. Yeah, but I've always seen cracker factory as a metaphor for a cracker factory, a mental home. And whether that's an actual mental home that she's from, or it's just his like a sort of a way of saying that she's crazy.
Ooh.
Is that not a?
I'd never thought of it.
Oh, have you not? I always thought that was a standard thing. What did you think Cracker Factory was? Literally a cracker factory in a.
I genuinely
could be, to be fair.
Factory. I never knew Cracker Factory was a euphemism for mental asylum.
It might not be. This is just my interpretation. It could be.
It is. I've just googled it. Cracker Factory could refer to a mental.
Oh, do you mean it? Do you mean outside of Alex? It's an actual saying.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's in
Urban
Dictionary and stuff.
I just inferred it. Are you sure it's not in Urban Dictionary because of Alex? Because that's happened to me before, when Arctic Monkey's lyric has been put in, like, and they kind of pretend like people think like Fluorescent Adolescent is in there, and it's like.
It's an older and not often heard slang term for an insane asylum that was in use by World War II, but possibly so they say in World War II to send mental soldiers off to the cracker, not mental soldiers, send soldiers with shell shock off to the cracker factory. Yeah, I genuinely.
Well, I didn't know it was a real thing. I just inferred that's what he meant. But wow, that's cool.
There's more.
So do you think he means it literally, or?
If you want more, I've got more for you, mate. There's a film here starring Natalie Wood, based on a novel. The Cracker Factory is an American television film.
Natalie Cassidy?
1977. Natalie Wood. Not Natalie Cassidy. Right, Marky. That's actually a question. But yeah, Cracker Factory is well and truly a thing. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Although,
well, I thought that's what it meant, but I didn't know it was an actual saying, because I've never heard anyone say that ever.
If you want another reference to Cracker Factory, that's where Milhouse's dad works in The Simpsons, at the actual Cracker Factory. Milhouse says, "My dad's a pretty big wheel down at the Cracker Factory" at one point.
Maybe he is. Maybe that's a hint that he is mentally ill. But yeah. So, do you think he means it like? Literally she's escaped from mental home, or just like saying she's crazy? Because if she is actually clinically mentally ill, it kind of puts a grim feeling on the song then. So I want to think it's figuratively.
Yeah, we've already got that coming with Cornerstone, mate. That's
yeah, especially if he dated her. So let's assume not. But even in Cornerstone, I think it's probably figuratively, right? Well, we'll see. We'll get there.
That is genuinely the biggest. Oh no, I've got some thoughts on Cornerstone in that respect.
God. Oh well, we'll wait for that.
I collated this morning.
6 weeks.
That has genuinely been my biggest mind-blowing moment on this show. I think that is finding out that Cracker Factory is an actual term.
I mean, I don't think you don't get put in the category of not knowing about the Coke reference in Fake Tales like I did, but because it is a bit of an obscure thing.
No, I know.
But I didn't. No. I mean, good for you that you're not in that category with me as the fucking dope that didn't know that was a drug reference. But I wouldn't. I think it's. I don't want to think it's literal, because that makes the song feel a bit weird, especially since But but then I say so. Cracker Factory. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know it was an actual fucking saying. I just thought Cracker Factory, mental home, right? But
I do think it's
you were
more likely in the song that he means cracker factory as in a factory that makes like crackers that you eat. Just purely based on the other little food and snack references that are in there.
Do you actually think he thinks that?
That
Well,
that was always
you're not
my
that blown away by,
assumption.
are you? No, he means
No,
it
that
in that.
was
He means it.
originally,
Oh, that's what you thought,
but
right? Oh, see.
but I'd never heard cracker factory used as like slang
No.
for
I mean, neither had I, but
something.
yeah, I went that way with it. But right, yeah. So you meant because of the food references, that makes sense. And then you were practicing a magic trick. I'd always thought like her manipulative ways or a magic trick. That's
Yeah.
what she. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've
Or
got.
it could even be the start of just her being herself and like enticing him before she starts the games as well.
I
The
mean, this
magic
song
trick
kind
her
of.
generally being alluring.
What's to come next on this? And who knows? Maybe you'll have your mind blown even again. But what's to come next in this song kind of sheds a new light on, in a way, on Alex's stuff last week from My Propeller that it was in no way linked to sex. Because if he's throwing in sort of sexy metaphors like what's coming in this song, then you do have to think that when he wrote Have a Spin on My Propeller, he knew what he was doing. I can't get it started on my own. but anyway, the next line is, and my thoughts got rude as you talked and chewed. Good of you to confess that you didn't know that, by the way. A lesser podcasters than us would have pretended that you'd known all along.
Wait. There's lesser podcasters than us.
Unbelievably, yeah.
Shit.
It's a Stop What Carty one,
Worse than I
honestly, this
thought.
Scarnet. And my thoughts got rude as you talked and chewed on the last of your pick and mix.
For those listeners over in the US of A who might not be aware of what pick and mix is, it's when you go to the cinema and you have a choice of sweets and you have to remortgage your home to buy like what would normally cost you like $1. That's
Yeah.
pick and mix.
When we were kids, you could pick them up quite. I went to pick a mix shop in York when I was there in November, and that was like remortgaging my house, honestly.
Yeah. Mental, innit?
But in America, I think in America they're called like penny sweets or something like that, or they have something similar. They have a similar thing like penny sweets or something like that, or I think
they call them candy walls. Penny candy.
Penny candy. That's it. Yeah. If my childhood of exclusively watching American content has taught me anything. So I'd say my thoughts got rude and you talked and chewed on last two pick and mix. So he's attracted to her having rude. He's attracted to her. He's having rude thoughts. So is this metaphor or not? So is she seductively in pick and mix, or is it him staring at her mouth and finding anything she's doing sexy? So he's eating pick and mix, a metaphor of some sort. Is it that as you talked and chewed on the last of your pick and mix? Is that some kind of sexual innuendo or not innuendo? What's the word? Double entendre. Is that some kind of? Because I think he does have one in a minute, perhaps. But yeah, is she literally eating pick and mix while talking to him?
I'm going literally.
Because there's childlike metaphors and there's him shagging a. You know what I mean? I know adults can eat pick and mix, but I don't know.
I think in that respect, we're going down the song with a story route. I think here, so I think some of it will be a bit more literal. In this case,
I think not. Maybe because I think so. Maybe the next line will help us. I can explain what I mean. So, because she says, so he said. You're mistaken if you're thinking that I haven't been called cold before as you bit into your strawberry
let's just give
lace.
him massive respect for how he manages to
flip
enunciate that line. That whole line is you look at that written down
crazy.
And you think, hang on, how's that?
I struggled to say it then.
The rhythm of the song.
Yeah, and the way also he does that, but and then flips the narrative of the song and says something from, but he's not saying it from her point of view. He's saying something she said from his point of view, and he kind of smoothly does that with, I've seen that narrative switch done worse in books over the course of a paragraph. Never mind in one line. So, I think. So has he just been rejected coldly, and that's her retort? Is that it? Has he clearly flirted with her and she's rejected him, and then he calls her cold in anger, and she says, "You're mistaken if you're thinking that I've never been called cold before." Is that there?
Yeah.
Now, I always thought of Strawberry Lace as her biting her lip in a tempting manner after she said that. As you bit into your strawberry lace, I always thought of it as like, because your lip is kind of like a strawberry lace, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Like she
it
does
is.
that kind of thing girls do, where it's like kind of, I can't do
Oh,
it
I can only
sex
get-
instructively
I only get
myself.
so turned on. I don't know. Work for me.
Ooh, the subscribers are in for a treat. But I
Doesn't look like you should be in the cracker factory.
practicing my magic trick. Where is it? Where's it gone? There it is. I would. I think that's how I've always seen that anyway. I mean, because if it's literally a pick and mix and fair play, but I've always seen, and it could be both. He likes to do that as well, the literal story and the metaphor behind it, particularly in Shadow Puppet stuff. But as you bit into, I've just always seen, I can imagine saying, "You're mistaken if you're thinking that I've been cold before," and they're doing a little bite of the lip to keep him, because clearly, even though she's rejecting him, she obviously is interested because there's a bit of a relationship here. So she's that kind of girl that she's cold, but she's giving you signals at the same time. The manipulative girl's way, as I'm sure we've all fell prey to. Yep. It's all of us, Nick. It's all of us. and then, okay. So yeah, I think it's biting a lip, personally. That's what I think that is. And I know people might say, well, why wouldn't he say like biting a sweet lip thing? But that would be too obvious, wouldn't it? Really. Yeah. And a strawberry, even though a strawberry lace isn't very thick, you can get thick strawberry laces, can't you? That are kind of like a lip. Like a sort of like a Twizzler. Let's say that's basically a strawberry lace, isn't it?
That's the ones, yeah.
Twizzlers are great. The Americans know that. They're from America, aren't they? Love Twizzlers. Yeah. Bloody love them.
For those listeners in the UK, Twizzler is like
Nah, you can get them now. You can get them now, boy. You can get them.
Oh, you can.
In the cinema.
I had some of them Christmas.
You can't get them in the cinema though, which is a shame because that's how I always want to eat them. Because in American films, they're always eating them in the cinema.
Well, getting a ham job in the back row.
Well, I'll just take the Twizzler. But that's all I'm asking for.
I'm not going to the cinema with you,
then. So then he says, and then offered me your attention in the form of a gobstopper. It's all you had left, and it was going to waste. Okay, so let's just I don't think it's this, but let's get it out of the way. She's giving him a blowjob. No. Some people probably think that. Well, she's got his attention in the form of a gobstopper. So his dick, her mouth, gobstopper, that'll get your attention.
To be honest, I wasn't of that opinion, but I am now.
I don't think I'm of that opinion, but it's definitely. And Alex isn't shy of a thing like that, is he? So, but I've always thought actually that this was her tongue kissing him. Personally,
to shut him up, to add to
make
that.
him speak.
Because he's called her cold, and she wants to shut him up, so she's kissed him.
Or even or even in that way that he might, she knows he's smitten with him. They're having a bit of a bicker now, so yeah, she kisses him. In the way of rom-com, someone might be arguing, and then suddenly the girl kissed the guy, and it stops the argument, and they embrace the kiss. That's how I kind of. But I think it's definitely. I'd say it's always a tongue, and that's why, it's all she's got left at that point, and it's going to waste. So, give him a kiss.
I don't like gobstoppers. In terms of the balance, the ratio between like excitement and reward, they're shit, aren't they? It's all right when you get one.
Yeah,
I
don't mind a sour.
Carry it around with you.
I don't mind a sour sort of sucky thing, but other than gobstopper doesn't really do too much for me. I like a toxic waste. Like a toxic waste, that's pretty good.
Oh yeah,
intense, but that would imply if the gobstopper is a kiss, which we seem to both think it is, that would imply that would make me think the strawberry lace is a lip, even more so. And the pick and mix is some kind of metaphor that talked and tuning last year. Pick and mix is what if the last of a pick and mix is her tongue and mouth, the strawberry lace and the gobstopper. She talked and chewed with her mouth.
Ooh,
yeah.
Hello.
Chewing the fat. So I think the pick and mix is a metaphor, and the sweets are metaphors for kissing and tongue stuff. And I think very honestly like kind of childlike as well, because of the kissing and stuff like that, rather than a blowy. I don't think it is that, but I know that some people will be thinking that absolutely. Yeah.
Some people are going to be thinking that about every song on this album.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that generally all the time. But yeah, so your pastimes consisted of the strange and twisted and deranged. So her manipulative ways with men, that's implying past relationships. Yeah, she consisted of
Ranges from
strange.
being odd to just being generally horrible and psychopathic.
Yeah. And then this is important, and I love that little game you had called Crying Lightning. So he loves it at this point. He loves her. I've had that though. Have you ever had that? I've definitely been there, where there's little things that they do where they'll try and manipulate you. You find endearing at first, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's that's sweet. Yeah,
boy."
Wears off there, doesn't it? And then it's just interesting. I've always liked this line because he says, "And how you'd like to aggravate the ice cream man on rainy afternoons." So for me, it's always been like they enjoy winding people up together, and she does anyway, and he likes watching it because obviously she's winding up an ice cream man about how he can't sell any ice cream on a rainy day. It's quite a funny line, actually, to think of like aggravating an ice cream man by making fun of him because he can't sell anything on, on a rainy day. It's quite a funny little line that from Alex there, which we know he's capable of.
There's some fantastic lines in this song. We'll get to one shortly. Soon.
Well, this line, I love this line. The way he writes this next line. The next time that I caught my own reflection, it was on its way to meet you. The very first podcast of the show, I used Arabella as an example. And I said my favorite thing about Alex's lyrics is when he'd take a metaphor. So he takes the idea basically of being compelled to see a girl. So you're smitten and you can't help but make your way to her. In the way that in another song, it might be like, he doesn't write that. He doesn't even write a song version of that. Like, I don't know. I just can't help myself. With this girl, he takes that concept and he says, well, if you can't physically, he kind of makes it almost psychological to the point where he's involuntary doing seeing her, which is kind of what it is like in that early stage of a relationship, like that feeling. It's like he can't. It's involuntary that he goes to her. He has to. He's aching to see her, and then to have that idea, and then to say, well, what if you caught yourself the next time you caught yourself because you've kind of been, you don't even realize you're going to see her, so you've caught yourself in a reflection on your way to see her. I just think like he has no control, like she's controlling him. It's just perfect. It's so perfect, and it encapsulates the best of Alex's songwriting. I think that line, all in one line. This is like, I think that's my favorite lyric he's written so far on this podcast. 100%. This would be in my top 5 Alex lyrics, I think, of all time, potentially. And that's actually, well, that as we go, because there's a lot in there. There's a fucking lot after this point on.
I don't think I could do a top 5, to be honest.
This point on, there's a fucking lot. And I don't think even any of the first 2 albums would get in to that, unfortunately, in top 10. Because even though there's some crackers on the first album, especially, I don't think, because they're just so good after this. But this is this is the reason why one of the reasons why my love of Alex from a kind of writing point of view is it just, no one else that I can think of as a songwriter would ever write the line in that way. That's a completely unique way of saying that, which is why I made the comment last season that if Arctic Monkeys weren't as successful as they were after the first album and he went into songwriting, the lyrical content of popular music would be a lot better than it is currently. So, but I don't want that. I'd rather have this, obviously. So, but yeah, I just think perfect line. The perfect
Absolutely
line.
Brilliant.
You take all the awards, and there is many on this album, to be fair, as well. But that might be the top one, but we'll see. So the next line is thinking of excuses to postpone. Nerves, doubts. Yeah, because it's again adds to the kind of involuntary, doesn't it? Yeah, well, in there, and it's you're making your way to see her because you can't help yourself, but you're thinking, is this a good idea? Yeah. I had this exact relationship in 24 hours once. I met a girl on a date in Alderley Edge, so she was a bit posh, We had a whirlwind of a date, and she seemed really funny, but maybe a little bit crazy. I think I knew in the back of my head. 24 hours later, I went back for a second date, and she was absolutely mental, and just decided halfway through the date she didn't want to carry on the date, and had me drive her home, and she was shouting at me about. She was insane, honestly. She was mentally ill, and I've had this relationship in a 24-hour period. It was one of the weirdest 24 hours of my life. I went from potentially thinking I was falling in love to thinking I'd dated a mental patient. Like, I genuinely think she might have escaped. I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe she was just posh mental. Like you get, don't you? Mental poshos. Yeah, I think that's what she was. But yeah, but it's okay for anyone listening. That's not a derogatory term. We're very cautious of mental health on this podcast. We just don't like poshos. That's all. Yeah. There you go.
Correct.
You never look like. Oh, this is good. You never look like yourself from the side, but your profile could not hide the fact you knew I was approaching your throne. Another good comment on what you said a minute ago with the him being able to enunciate that in the way that he does as well. Yeah, because it is half rap
that
as well.
Feeling
sometimes
everyone's had, and not only is he written, is he put into words, put into such delightful words, something that people have felt and never been able to vocalize. But yeah, the way his voice skips over the words, like this verse and the second half of the verse coming up, it blows my mind. It genuinely blows my mind. And when you think that he's playing at the same time, when they perform it live, he's playing a riff that's a very different rhythm to the lyrics at the same time.
Very different, yeah. It's mad. So the side part is, when you look at someone differently, like you say, but is that like is it almost as well like when she's not looking directly at you, you see it differently, almost like when she's not manipulating you with a gaze, you start to notice that she looks a bit different. And
I've had that even with like good relationships and stuff like that. If you see,
were they good, Nick?
Yeah, no, they were at the time, but when you like,
Roman Empire was good at the time.
When you see them like round other people, you almost like it almost takes you out of the room for a second. It's one thing like being around them when they're like face to face with you, but if you're at a gig or something and like they're at the bar with other people and you kind of look over.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's kind of like not in a bad way, but it just seems like a takes it to another level, different person.
Yeah, and like it's just you've had that. I mean, you look at someone differently, I guess, in a relationship as well. All of a sudden, because something happens that makes you look at them differently.
Is that as well?
Yeah, that happens a lot. And then thrown to show how she sees herself, high status, queen, yeah. With folded arms, you occupied the bench like toothache.
You have no idea how much. See, you've had
the way he says it as well, isn't
it? You've had one just now that would be in your top 5 Alex lyrics. That's mine right there. I love that. I think that's fab. That's
juicy, isn't it? Yeah, the way he says it as well, isn't it?
And you just know what he means straight away. That
painful dull ache to be around. Pain in the ass, pain in the tooth, obviously. Yeah, been there, my friend. Been there.
Oh, we've all been there. Once again, it's mad how we, particularly with the first album, there were so many of our personal experiences that we could relate to it, and you kind of think, oh, we're getting away from it now. No, we're not. No.
Yeah, I don't even think I get away from that until the car, to be quite honest with you. And even then, there might be a couple. But I think even on Tranquility, like involuntary or not intended, I think there's a lot of personal things that speak to me in that. Or perhaps we'll see. Perhaps they were intended.
Well, you wouldn't think you'd get that from an album about a taco stand on the moon, would you?
But no, you wouldn't. No. I know just about the gentrification of Tranquility Crater Station. What do you think about the pedestrianisation of Tranquility Moon Crater?
They just need more access to the taqueria.
What about wee mums with the wee kiddies in prams? But I Yeah, I think it's self-explanatory. She's a dull ache. She's like a toothache, the worst kind of ache, you could say. Apart from
And she knows
heartache.
it, judging by the next line. Oh.
No.
Oh. That sounded like the thing at the end of Partridge.
The Partridge did that. I thought that. Yeah, pain in the tooth. Stood and puff your chest out like you'd never lost a war.
Really?
Arrogance. Showing her arrogance, yeah. Ego. It's amazing how he also with the enunciation, if you notice, when the way he enunciated the words when he liked her is different to how he enunciates these words now he dislikes her. He gets a bit more vicious with it, doesn't he? I think it's too fake and stood and puffed your chest out like you never lost a war. He's a bit more bitter, a bit more angry at her. I think, yeah. Do you think this is a real? I wonder, because he was in a happy, well, not for long, but he was in a happy relationship during this, wasn't he? Relatively, or just before it. So maybe this must be someone from the past, or maybe someone else that the band dated. That was a bit of a twat.
Yeah, because it was with Alexa shortly before this, and they're still mates and stuff. So
yeah, it's not Alexa. Definitely not.
Definitely not. She can hurt anyone. She's delicious.
Yeah. Well, he says, and she might be a twat, I don't know. No, I tried so not to suffer the indignity of reaction. There was no cracks to grasp or gaps to claw. That's good as well, isn't it? That very good.
Not to rise to it. Just what a way to phrase it.
Oh man, it's hard. That is what I've been with the girl. You know, you're trying to not give a reaction to somebody that's wanting one. Like she keeps saying stuff to bait you into reaction, and he's trying to not rise to the bait, but you've got nowhere to go with it. And as soon as they push the right button, you're gonna snap, because that's what your partner's very good at in a bad relationship, is knowing the way to push the button that makes you you push the button and I'll have a stress, as the lyric goes. But yeah, he's ticked off now, isn't he, at her? Because in the next line it's the chorus again, but he changed it to hate. That little game here, it's hate now. No time for it. Oh yeah, such a good flip. Again, the whole flip is just there mid lyric. There's no pause. It's just he just flips into the dislike of her. It's like night and day, and he and even the way he sings it as well gets angry. Great, lovely stuff. If it was a Shadow Puppet song, Miles would be doing this bit. They would have switched to Miles halfway through, because he always does the angry bits, doesn't he? All those faces used to smile back, and all the faces seem to need a slap. An unfamiliar grip.
Talking of lyrics that Miles would possibly
unfamiliar
sing.
Grip could be the autobiography of Miles's court case. The memoir Miles's court case. The Unfamiliar Grip.
Court transcripts. Yes, so speaking
unfamiliar handkerchief of chloroform.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Speaking of lyrics that Miles would possibly sing, I am glad we don't have to suffer the indignity of hearing him change Ice Cream Man to Icky Man, because that is a line that would never Icky Man.
What do you think the change to Icky means here?
I just think I just see it as just a further colloquialism. He's changed, but again, icky also means horrible. But did you used to call it the icky?
I would say icky, no, because it was the Ice Cream Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, never, just Ice Cream Man that sold porn DVDs out of his.
I would have thought with you being a council estate kid, you'd have been a prime candidate for calling.
Well, I was born in a council estate, but I wasn't involved.
I was born on a council estate, but wasn't made on a council estate.
I wasn't. The other kids didn't like fraternizing with me because I wore jeans and like music. But no. So I think it's a bit of a double meaning. This, I think it's Icky Man because that's a saying for Ice Cream Man that some people use in the north of England. Is it north? It's just north, isn't it? But I think what he's implying here, personally, and I could be wrong, this is just a theory, because when he said she winds up the Ice Cream Man, he found her charming and funny, didn't he? He changes it to icky because the way she's winding someone up is icky now. It feels wrong. It doesn't feel nice anymore. She feels like a knob. She feels like she's being mean. And also
America
maybe
as well, where icky is more of a prevalent saying.
well, that's what I mean. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that's kind of, and maybe that way you might. Yeah, she shouldn't. It's not nice anymore. It's not a nice thing anymore that she's doing. She doesn't find it sweet and endearing. It's actually mean the way they do it. Yeah. That's what I've always thought about. Anyway, like to wind up some poor fella. And icky's a childish word as well. It's showing how it's childish to wind up an ice cream man. Like, and it's actually funny because he kind of does that to pulls the rug on that in the song to you, because earlier in the song when you hear it, you think it's quite a funny line, much like he did. But then at the end, when he says it like that, you see it from his point of view as well. That now actually is a bit childish and a bit mean to do that. So it's funny that he puts this in his mind very well in this song, I would say.
In what place
There's
it
no
is
place
today.
I'd rather be. Yeah. No place I'd rather be. And then he says, last lyric really, because it repeats a lot, but uninviting, but not half as impossible as everyone assumes you are. Crying lightning. So not half. Okay, so I'm going to read something to you here, but I see it differently, and you can tell me this, because this was I thought, I'll get the actual dictionary slang definition of not half for our international listeners. Okay. So, not half for non-UK or even Northern listeners, perhaps, means bizarrely, to explain the exact opposite. So, this is the definition, not my definition. So, if I was to say it was not half busy last night in the bar, it would mean it was very busy.
Yes.
But however, I use this in two ways. So, I think there's two slangs to this. If someone says to me, if I said it was not half busy in that bar last night, it means it was busy. But there's also the way of saying not half to mean less in a certain context, if that makes sense. So, because in the song, if he's saying but not half as impossible as everyone assumes you are, and it means the exact opposite, it means that everyone assumes she's not difficult, but she is.
Yes.
Is what he's saying. But it could also, I would also say that to someone like she's not half as impossible as you like if you said, oh, she seems impossible, I'd say she's not half as impossible as you think, like she's even worse than you think as well. So it does have two kind of ways of using it, and both apply. It means she's a twat, but if you said to me like, oh, that girl seems difficult, then I'd say she's not half as difficult as you think, mate, she's even worse.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean? So we do kind of use it in two ways sometimes, I think, up north.
Yes, yeah, they do, yeah.
Because you say not half, or you'll say not half as impossible. Yeah, there's two ways of using it. But I think he's saying, you're basically saying she's worse than you can imagine.
Yes.
She's even worse than you can imagine. But yeah, I just think it's funny that, because I do use it in two ways. I mean, I would never say not. I think that's an old saying. I don't think I'd say that now. I'd never say not half. Like,
no,
it's a bit of an old saying.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a generation above us. Whereas, but I would say not
you
half
want them
as
both
impossible
to get
as you
sunk
think.
on the English Channel, not half. All right, Dan.
Like if you said to me, oh, she's pretty, seems pretty impossible there, I'd rub my eye and I'd go, not half as impossible as you think, mate. She's fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
So I could use it in that way as well. So yeah, which way he's using it, I don't know, but either way, pretty much the same outcome. So her game's not working on him anymore. She's done it too much. He don't like her. She's out of here. Gone off her.
Yeah.
Did you know, Nick? And I can't verify this in any format. Okay. So this is just what the internet has told me. That there is a third verse to this song on the acoustic version. Now,
I was going to ask you about this.
Okay, let me read it and then we'll discuss. Too much to discuss over a barrel of balls. Oh, you were reading a book about some Yeah. You were reading a book about some idiot and telling me about another. I was so severely underwhelmed. I thought I might never recover. Straighten the rudder, girl, and sail me upstairs and go and find somebody who cares. Well, we might not be the perfect partners, but tonight we make. I'm calling bullshit on that because I think those lyrics are dog shit and Alex is way better than that.
Yes.
There's no way that's real.
The only reason I know so I've definitely heard the acoustic version that features that, because there was a fan-made compilation that
Hang
I
on.
think got released on bootleg vinyl called Straighten the Rudder, and it was full of all
Yes.
those little acoustic things, wasn't there?
So this is a real
But-
verse that Alex has written then, on an acoustic version.
Right, I'm sure it was on an acoustic version. Yeah,
Those lyrics are crap.
yeah.
Let me try in the song, like, so you were reading a book about some idiot. It doesn't even seem to work with the flow of the song. You're telling me, oh, maybe if we can find a link to it, I'll edit it in if we can find it. Okay, so if it's here, it's here. If it's not, then it doesn't exist.
Hold on, I'm looking now. I'll do this.
Okay, you do that while I So yeah, I just think no wonder he cut it then. I guess. I do while you're looking for that. I'll just do a bit on the music video. The music video for the single debuted on Channel 4 in the UK on the 24th of July 2009. It was directed by our friend Richard Ayoade. I fucking hate this video, mate. I've got to be honest with you. I watched it again today just to check, and I think this is the worst video. It is dreadful. It doesn't have any of the joy the band brings normally to everything that they do. It seems this is probably added to people's dour. If people already were downplay about this album and the change of direction, and they saw this video, they probably thought, "Oh God, like I despise everything about this video in every way. It's lazy."
There's a behind the scenes video of it as well. There's a behind the scenes thing of like Ayoade directing it, and it's so jarring seeing them with like a green screen and stuff like that. It's just it's icky, is what it is.
It's just crap and boring. This same as last week, really. But luckily there is one inventive video in this album. Otherwise, it would be all dog shit. But there one deadpan comic video to save it. I would say are coming. But yeah, no crap. Don't even want to talk about it. Awful, dreadful, worst video they've ever done, in my opinion.
Well, I can.
Luckily, they get back on course with the videos next album. Thankfully, yes. Thankfully.
Right,
there we go. Oh God, it's gonna upset me, this, isn't it? My hero let me down.
Crying lightning. Oh, you were reading a book about some idiot and telling me about another. I was so severely underwhelmed, I thought I might never recover. Straighten the rudder, girl, and sail me upstairs and go and find somebody who cares. Well, we might not be the perfect partners, but tonight we make a pair. Your pastimes consisted of the strange.
Well, I like the pair bit at the end. I like that because it wasn't on the bit I had. The way he does it, it kind of works. Reading it written down with no context, I thought they were terrible. I still think he's better than Idiot. I don't like the use of the word idiot there. I think he's better.
I think it's essentially just to replace the solo, isn't it, on the acoustic version?
Yeah, he's just put it together last minute and did it. But I do think the way he performs it is good, and this I do like. I was so severely underwhelmed, I thought I might never recover. Don't like the straight in the rudder bit, but I do like the we might not be the perfect partners, but tonight we make a pair. I do like that. I do like those 4 lines in it, but I think reading a book about some idiot and telling me about another. It's all right. Yeah.
I wonder if this was. Although at least he's put his own lyrics in there, because there's a song off the Cortina's first album, Please Don't, and when they play it live, he adds a bit. He puts when he plays.
Careful what you say here, because
his song right in the middle, and it's just weird. It's so. Like, why are you doing that?
One of my favorite Alex live moments is him singing Dion in the middle of First Adolescent. So.
No, that works though. That works. Though.
It does work very well, yeah.
The Cortina's one is just so jarring. It's like a really obscure song as well. It's like, what's that doing here? I like that first album.
I'm not surprised, to be honest.
Shall
we listen to a bit of John Kennedy?
Too much to discuss over a bucket of balls.
Lightning, the first single, which was out last week, and this though was recorded at Josh's place. Yes. I think Rancho. Was this a Rancho song?
This is Rancho.
Yeah.
Not in
not Josh's
not his actual
Pink Duck place.
No.
And What's this song all about? It has a kind of waltzy circus feel.
It's funny you said pink dust before, actually, because when we were recording Crying Lightning, I think I was right around the point where Jamie disappeared for about a day and a half or something. We didn't see him, and he when we were out there on the motorbike that was there, and then he returned in a poncho with a sort of strange pink dust on his shoulders, and seemingly under strict instructions to set his the Echoplex to a certain. He had he's line. I know the increments. I know where it should be, and then that's where his sound came from for Crying Lightning, and then he got used on a bunch of tunes, actually. The Starcaster and this whatever he'd been.
Just give away its secret weapon.
Yeah, the pink dust sound that was sort of referred.
So this could be like a desert vision he had somewhere.
Yeah.
Who told him?
I don't know, but that's what happened, and
well, it sounds good. You're not going to question it, are you? If
it's a great sound.
Somebody arrives,
you'd at least try it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And sort of this, yeah. But what was it? It was dust. It was sort of like tacky dust, though. I don't know.
Sticky dust.
But he
glitter.
It's
one of the songs that I can vividly remember recording. I use this one. Funny. Like some of them I have to really try hard to remember where we were when we recorded it, but that I can remember the whole 3 or so minutes. I really can. I don't know why.
Excellent.
Picture everything. I know what we're wearing. I know what drum kit it were.
There's an old Spanish monologue actually that got cut from that song.
Yeah.
The sort of jam bit at the end used to be 3 times as long and had this spoken word Spanish monologue, not done by myself. Yeah, Alan. I wrote this. It was originally kind of supposed to be in the lyrics of the song, but I could never kind of fit a tune to it, if you know what I mean. So, but we still really wanted to use it, and we were like, "Oh well, you could speak it maybe, but I don't know." And that might be the next record. I'm not sure about that yet.
Interesting.
And then so we got Al to translate it to Spanish because he can speak 4 languages, and read it out, and it sounded like someone had left the Spanish telly on. We had to
too long
kind of lose it in the end. But I don't know, maybe it'll crop up somewhere.
Remastered.
Yeah.
On the box set.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The box,
yeah. Why not? So there is a version out there, maybe somewhere, with the Spanish bit.
Yeah.
And so, what were you wearing, Matt, when you recorded this?
Nothing. Strange. Nothing. I just can remember the colours. Grey t-shirt. Shorts.
Right. Was it hot in the desert at this point?
It doesn't sound like shorts.
No, it doesn't. That's the thing. So I try and do.
Yeah.
Do I sound like joggers? What do I sound like now? Just it was hot during the day, but it gets very cold at night. That's what they say about the desert.
Right.
And because we were there at Christmas as well, winter. A few years ago, we saw photographs of they had this big, massive snowstorm there, snow in the desert. I know.
Intriguing.
But massive. People got stuck in everything. So it does get
snow
cold.
in the desert would be
Does
a
get cold.
good sort of headline for
Arctic Monkeys. So we'll do a documentary.
Or just that it sounds.
And so was this in September or December, Crying Lightning, when you recorded?
Probably September, wasn't it?
Right.
That one
of the first that job.
And when you're drumming in Rancho de la Luna, are you in a separate room from everybody?
No, we're all in the same room. Right. Probably what you'd have,
sardines.
you'd call it the dining room if it was being used that way. Just off the bedroom and kitchen. So we were all in there. It's very small, just some fairy lights and windows, which is always nice in the studio. A little bit of natural light. But it was night time.
And the hunger that goes with the dining room.
Yeah.
Or just sonic hunger.
Sonic hunger, yeah.
Too much to discuss over a bucket of balls.
And you go.
Sound like joggers.
Got a little long clip there about that one, didn't we? There's the story with Jamie and his pink dust vanishing off and coming back mysteriously with the keys to the song.
Genuinely felt like I was there.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean about
quite the picture.
the documentary. I'm telling you. But yeah, I wonder what he just vanished for days and came back with. I mean, that'd be the fact that no one tried to. I'll be honest, if I was out in the desert with you doing some work on something, and you went off and you didn't see you or communicate with you for like 2 days, I'd start to worry, to be honest. I'd definitely have checked. They must have checked in. Well, I'd start to worry if you weren't back by evening, to be honest, in the desert in a country you're not. Go give it a couple of days, it'll be all right. Desert out, is it?
At least an hour and a half.
It must have been communicating via text, surely. But yeah, no, good. I like that. I do like that sort of, because it says a lot about Jamie and his influence on, like we always say, on the creative side of things. Like they can't figure out Crying Lightning, and he goes off, comes back inspired by something, and unlocks the song. Perfect. Good stuff. Love it. Do you want to do your favorite lyric?
Too busy with the mind on clever lines.
Well, I've kind of said. I think we both knew each other. So mine's the next time that I caught my own reflection, it was on its way to meet you.
Yeah, mine is with folded arms. You occupied the bench like toothache.
I also like it when someone refers to their like own shadow or piece of their body as a separate entity, as like a third party. I love that kind of thing in anything. I like that. Except porn. Favorite musical moment?
Bad sounds in your ear that make you get up and down.
I think I've already said mine. It's Oh, is it really? Baseline? Yeah, it's good. I think mine's that, like I said, that transition from the first chorus to interlude, second verse, the flow, the little guitar fill, and then straight into the second verse with my favorite line.
Realistically, that's probably mine. But I feel I've got form for picking bass lines as my favorite musical moment, so I need to get one in early this album, just in case there's a song where I don't pick that.
I'm wondering if that's the first time my favorite lyric and favorite musical moment are the same bit of the song.
See,
because they are
a Wikipedia page for us, they could have chronicled that. You know, off memory,
lazy bastards, aren't they?
Do transcripts of it and stuff, and you can search the transcripts for things we've said, but no one
maybe. Well, if Liquor and Lyrics takes off, with the plans we've got for it, then we'll get transcripts, which I'm going to be pumping promotion out. It's in the script for me to wax lyrical about it in the script next week. Yep. It'll be out there then, probably. I'll be sharing that. I'm doing a pod, don't worry. It's Arctic Monkeys Base, so I'll be sharing it to you, lovely people, actually, around the film The Conversation, which is an Arctic Monkeys picked film on the Straight Chilling podcast by Justin that was on this podcast. So a little community going here. I'm sure we'll be getting them. I think we discussed Frightline Dining Room, didn't we? So, yeah. Okay, a quick hot take, quick question. Nothing major.
She flicks a red hot revelation off the tip of her toe.
Is this the best Arctic Monkeys song to have the worst video? Because this is an all-time Arctic Monkeys classic, and normally the classics have good videos to go along with them, I would say. If you think Are You Mine, Do I Want to Know? Cornerstone, Body Paint, Dance Floor, Teddy Picker. The list goes on. But 4 out of 5. I see Mirrorball, great video. This is the best song to have the shittest video. Whereas you could go like My Propeller isn't one of the best songs, but it has a poor video as well. Yeah. Or whatever.
Part of this is going to come
down to Adolescent, great video.
Taste, but can I also add Sculptures of Anything Goes to that list as well?
Yeah, a bit lazy, innit?
Although that video is not as bad as this one.
I mean, I'm surprised anybody really bothered. I mean, videos are kind of like, I mean, the Childish Gambino did the best video we've seen for years, and no one's going to bother to top that. So, yeah.
Completed it, yeah.
No one, videos aren't a thing anymore because people don't
People
watch
said that
music
about
that way.
Take On Me in 1985. People said, right, that's it. The music video is done. Smack your bitch up.
No, but we used to use music videos to find music. That's not how we find music now. Right,
no, correct.
But yeah, but still good to see a good one when there is one. Usually, The last great Arctic Monkeys, I thought Tranquility stuff was great. Mirrorball is I love Mirrorball. Great video. I love seeing behind the scenes. Mirrorball is very much the Teddy Picker of the modern Arctic Monkeys era, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
And what a fucking difference it is.
Needs a little
So
crocodile.
should we do the segment where I introduce next week's song with the assist of AI?
You push the button and we'll do the rest.
Okay, so this is when I put in, write me a funny introduction to this song with the lyrics, to Dangerous Animals with the lyrics. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, it must be when you put introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, gather round for a lyrical safari through the wild kingdom of Arctic monkeys, where bed sheets are battlefield arenas and sleep is a full contact sport. Today, we present to you Dangerous Animals, a song that will have you questioning whether you're in a zoo or just tangled up in a particularly aggressive game of Twister. Picture this: a restless night, a relentless battle with sheets, and a protagonist nearly shedding tears in their sleep. It's not just any battle, though. It's a well-taught gripe, the kind that deserves racing stripes. Why? Because the object of affection here is as elusive as a gazelle in pursuit. The lyrics unfold like a comedic ballet with sharp-booted pursuits that leave the protagonist breathless and on their knees, promoting them to a position of bewildered submission. Pinned down by the dark, we're introduced to the most dangerous animal, the one that makes heads pirouette more than a ballet dancer on roller skates. But wait, there's more. Dangerous, a spelling bee of peril where the light fidgets through thoughts, bashful as a tribal dance, the acrobat falls off the beam, breaking everyone's hearts, and we're left wondering if this is a circus or just the chaotic dance of love. So hold on tight, folks. We navigate the untamed lyrics of Dangerous Animals. It's a safari of sound, a circus of chaos, and a lyrical lioness that's ready to make a mess. Enjoy the ride through the wilderness of Arctic Monkeys' musical imagination. I get there. Nice little, accidentally did a reference to this house as a circus as well, didn't it? No cat, though. Yeah. No cat this week. Whatever was prompting it to say cat on My Propeller and Crying Lightning wasn't prompted by Dangerous Animals, funnily enough. Ironically.
You'd imagine there'll be big cats in the circus, though, wouldn't you? Like tigers.
Oh, he did say what's a gazelle?
A cat.
Not a cat.
Famous.
Can't remember what a gazelle is. I can't remember what a gazelle is.
Lions eat gazelles. Lions are not.
Oh, that thing. Yeah. Yeah, boy.
Like, millions of years of evolution, and a gazelle has been reduced down to that thing.
I'm not sure what I'm going to play out this episode with. I haven't got my internet clip yet, but I'm going to try and find something saucy to play out the episode with relating to Crying Lightning. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I was going to find something like people. Hopefully, people enjoyed the 3D version of My Propeller last week, but I'll see what I can get.
Lovely. Well, this has been series 3, episode 2. Crying Lightning. We'll be back next week with, as mentioned previously, Dangerous Animals. Don't forget to go on your podcast player of choice, find all our links. You can follow us across all the major social media platforms, and no, they're all major, aren't they? They're all like big world.
All major. Yeah. We're not on Fred, so yeah, we're on all the major ones.
And check out our Bebo and our MySpace as well. We'll be back next week. Say goodbye to the nice people, Dan.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Said you're mistaken if you're thinking that I haven't been called cold before. As you bit into your strawberry lace, then offered no attention in the form of a gobstopper. It's all you had left and it was going to waste. Your pastimes consisted of the strange and twisted and deranged, and out of that little game you had called Crying Lightning, and how you like to aggravate the ice cream man on rainy afternoons. The next time that I caught my own reflection, it was on its way to meet you, thinking of excuses to postpone. You never looked like yourself from the side. consisted of the strange, twisted and deranged. And I hate that little game you had called Crying Lightning. Crying Lightning. Crying Lightning. Crying Lightning. Your pastime consisted of the strange and twisted and deranged. I hate that little game you had called crying.
Don't Believe the Hype is hosted and produced weekly by Nick Lee and Dan Holt. The music used in the titles is royalty-free music courtesy of Les FM. Don't forget to subscribe on your podcast player of choice to be notified every Wednesday when a new episode is released. And if you want to help us out further, be sure to like and review to help make us more visible to like-minded souls. We will see you next week with more of the same.